Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Well, I am back in the saddle again. I have been having a fabulous time, busy as all get out, anticipating some sunshine, although it's raining today. Yeah, and that noise you hear is my neighbor actually power washing his sidewalk. Yeah. I hear it's going to be nice tomorrow, though. I am so ready for a little sunshine. And I know it's interesting because on the flip side of the world, for like Patchy Pony and all of my favorite people on the other side of the world, they're hunkering down to real stitching time. Now I'm dividing between stitching, quilting, gardening, walking, camping, all of those things is where my mind is going right now. I have been trying to, in the last month, well, nothing new for those of you who've been around for a while. This is a cross-stitch channel. I actually should say this is a life channel with a little bit of cross-stitch thrown into it. But let me just start with a non-cross-stitch item. I found the best tea in the world at the grocery store. And I made sun tea. We had one day of sunshine last week, and I made sun tea. But this tea, I had never actually used it before, and it's called Stephen Smith Tea Maker, and it's a ginger peach iced tea. I am telling you, if you like iced tea, you've got to get this. It's and so I made it a whole container of sun tea, which was awesome. But it almost makes me, when I made this tea, it almost, oh my gosh, the aroma when I opened the bag. It made me feel like one of those high-end chefs, because look, it comes in a silk bag. Oh my gosh. And G's not a fancy tea person, and so he asked me if he had a glass of this, could he put some lemon in it? And I said no. No lemon, no sugar. This is ginger peach, and it is so awesome. It doesn't need anything else. And he took a sip, and yeah, he agreed. It was great. So last week I had the opportunity to go and be a speaker at the Salem Quilt Guild. And although this is a channel about cross-stitch, I just have to tell you this one story. So afterwards, I was giving a presentation to the Morning Guild and the Evening Guild. So in the afternoon, I said that I would participate in a sit and stitch. And so they put it out to their members that anybody who wanted to stay and just sit and stitch and talk, we would be doing that for the afternoon. And we had a lovely time. Let me just tell you, it is so much fun to just sit and stitch with other people from other walk of lives, different ages, different likes and dislikes for certain needle arts, and you learn so much, and you get to spend time and hear people's stories. That's the number one thing. But the reason I'm telling you this story is because the woman who was sitting near me thanked me for talking about her daughter. And I said, well, who's your daughter? And she said, Bonnie Sullivan. And so my brain, is a little bit different. And so all the chipmunks were going around on their little treadmill trying to find the file that said Bonnie Sullivan. And all I said was, oh my God, that means you're also Kathy Schmidt's mom. And she said yes, because they're sisters, and they are fabric and pattern designers. But what came out of this? What does this have to do with cross stitch? I came home and I literally tore apart my sewing room trying to be more organized. And I came across a pattern by Bonnie Sullivan, and I was looking at it, and again, the chipmunks were running around, and I was going, I think my friend Sandy stitched this, cross-stitched this. Bonnie Sullivan's a cross-stitcher. And I was like, how could I not know this? And then my brain was going, of course you know this. You just put it on the back burner because several years ago, I won a set of patterns from Lost in Floss that were snowmen, and they were Bonnie Sullivan snowmen. I believe they were. So here's this pattern. I can't wait to do it. But it was by All Through the Night, Bonnie Sullivan. And her mom was sitting near me. So it was kind of special. You know, I was a little bit fangirling. So it was a lovely time. It was a lovely time. So that particular pattern is moving up in the queue. And then because of the inspiration that I enjoyed and received from the Guild in Salem, Oregon, I literally caused a whole bunch of chaos in here. And I have some visitors coming this week, so I have to get myself organized. So then I started thinking about that I need to parent myself. I know some of you are going, she's gone off the deep end. She's nuts. She's crazy. What is she talking about? Well, I decided this last month that I wanted to parent myself in terms of that I know for a fact that both of my parents were highly intelligent, successful individuals, but they were both ADHD. And they had one child to dump all of that on. So I took G and I, way back in the day, when we were in the thick of child rearing, took a Love and Logic class that was being offered for parents at the hospital I worked at. And it was funny because it was mostly doctors and their wives, and then G and I. And I realized that I needed some kind of system for myself. And that's how, I mean, ultimately the designated stitch has proved highly successful for me, because it's, I get an intrinsic reward. And on top of that, I don't have to make decisions. It is set in thread already. And so I decided that I needed to set up some different parameters for myself that were going to Love and Logic my stitching. Because what happens in the morning, if you're new, this really is a cross-stitch channel, let me just tell you. But what happens in the morning is, it used to be that in the morning I would stitch on Prairie Schooler Santas. We have a Sal. Finish a Prairie Schooler, start a Prairie Schooler. But then I started playing games on my phone. I play Wordle, mini cross-stitch, mini crossword. So Wordle, mini crossword, strands, connections, and tiles. So when I get up in the morning and I go downstairs and G and I sit in the living room with our coffee, I start playing those games. And it may take me the whole coffee time to finish playing those games. And I either am really excited or I'm pretty ticked off because I couldn't figure it out. Actually, I'm really good at those games except for connections, because connections requires me to slow down, and that is not who I am. So I can sometimes just blow the whole game because I'm not taking the time to really contemplate what they're asking. And these are all in the New York Times online. But what happened with the games is that I stopped stitching the Prairie Schooler Santa with coffee in the morning. So in the interest of parenting myself, I made a parameter. I gave myself a little box to sit in the morning. And that is that I cross-stitch on my Prairie Schooler Santa one length of thread before I play the games. I'm really motivated because I am totally addicted to the games. And so when I'm done stitching the one thread, then I thread the next thread so it's ready. So there's like no excuse. When I sit down again, I'm ready to stitch. It's already in the spot that I left that I need to do, and that has proved to be successful for me. So why am I sharing this? It's because there are different things that we can do where we feel overwhelmed or we want to we make more work out of it than fun. And you just have to figure out what is going to appeal to you, because that's the thing. It's like food. There's some foods that appeal to us and some that don't. And processes are exactly the same way. So I always keep my Prairie Schooler Santa in my It's So Kelly Bitsy, I think it's called a Bitsy Bob, and it was made out of Harry Potter fabric, which I love. And this was the Prairie Schooler Santa that I was working on. So with this new system that I've been doing for about a month, I have almost well, the Santa is done now. The Santa is done, and all I have left is the lantern and the snowflakes. So as you can see, there's already a thread ready to go. So when I sit down tomorrow morning, no excuses, no excuses. And I keep track of my Prairie Schooler Santas in this adorable book that was gifted to me, made and gifted to me by textilist Lori. And so there's my list of Prairie Schooler Santas. I don't know. It may be a lot of hoopla to you, but it is, just figure out what's going to work for you. That may not be the thing that works for you, but figure out, like, put out a piece of See's candy and you can't have it until you've stitched a whole line or a whole thread. I'd be motivated by that. I'd be motivated by that. Book of Days. Okay, we're into June. So at the beginning of May, I had a total of 31 whips, 14 starts, 9 finishes, and 2 FFOs, fully finished objects. And we are already getting stars in June. We are already getting stars in June. This was another thing that worked really well for me. It was simple. I'm a sucker for stars. I can't help it. I'm cheap. So, cheap and easy. Just in stars. Just in stars, though. I did finish my designated stitch. So I get to move on to a new designated stitch. So as you remember, my designated stitch was The Maker and Mender by Brenda Gervais. And the designated stitch is always something out of my whip pile. And let's hold it up for you. All done. And I put my initials in with fancy stitches right here. Algerian something or other. So I've got another designated stitch done, which is really awesome. Really awesome. My last designated stitch, which was Away We Ride, is fully finished. Isn't that awesome? I really love this. I love the colors, I love the fabric, I love the framing, I love everything about it. And the designated stitch before that is now hanging on the wall. I found a spot for it, and it actually is hanging here in the beehive. And at the end of this video, I'll have G insert a photograph of where it's hanging. It's hanging above the double doors that go to my supply closet for the beehive. And now I can just look at it and just pat myself on the back. Because that is what we have to do. We have to be able to pat ourselves on the back. So what will the designated stitch be for what's up in the queue? At first I was kind of like, oh, I want it to be something big. I do want it to be something big. But at the same time, I realized that this month, on the 21st of this month, on my crow calendar that my friend Sandy sent me, I love all the, well, I love crows. She loves crows, I love crows. But it has the full moon designated. So on the 21st is the full strawberry moon. And so I was kind of looking for something that had strawberries in it. And, you know, to do on the full strawberry moon. And I realized that in the 12-monthly minis that I'm doing with my friend Margaret and Julie, actually the month of June has strawberries in it. See, strawberries right there. And so that's taken care of in my mind. And I had started it at a stitch meetup at Acorns and Threads, and those are the previous ones from the time we started. Because it's kind of funny. I feel like when I have it's like a game for me. When I have a reason, then I am excited and I tend to participate and do it. And this is, my monthly minis are in a dot dot goose bag. Isn't that adorable? So about the designated stitch. So that's what I'm going to be stitching on every evenings. So I went through my whips and trying to decide which one I wanted. And because the 21st of this month is National Indigenous People Day, I decided to choose in my Ruth bag Rebel Stitchers Design Women of Honor. And you might wonder why that would have anything to do with Indigenous People Day. It is because I decided when I first got the chart that I was going to replace one of the names. And I'm just trying to find the paper. Where's the paper? It's here. It's in here someplace. Oh, there it is. So I'm replacing one of the names on this chart with this name. She was the first Native American physician from 1865 to 1915, and she practiced as a doctor on the reservation. Really admirable, not only at that time being a female doctor, but also she thought people on the reservation will feel more comfortable with her. So I am putting her name on this chart, Women of Honor, and that is going to be the next designated stitch. Very excited. So what else have we got going? I stitched a little bit on my Vulcan calligraphy. Audrey Stitchy Witch finished it. And there's where I am. I'm using Roxy Floss. And I also stitched a bit on my 56 count. You said, what? She's doing 56 count? Yeah, I am. I figured I better do it now while I still can. And since I got the Anita lamp from the Fat Quarter Shop, it has proven to be a game changer. Not only is it beautiful, I feel like there's a friend in the room because it has so many arms, so it's more, it's not just like a lamp. It doesn't feel like just a lamp. And when I was Zooming the other day with some stitchy friends, I could have my phone in the phone holder, and when they talked about something, I could look it up and order it. I know. But the magnifier really makes the difference. And the tray does hold snacks. It will hold snacks, but it has other things that I need too. And my friend Julie made this little, you know what they call that. Whatever they call that. But look at, I could put my 56 count Ouvre Soie thread, and then I just pull it off of there, and I feel kind of very organized. I feel very organized. So here we go. 56 count. Can you see it? Can you see it? That is how big it is. It looks so big in this, like it's a big sampler, but it's like, it's very tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And I am enjoying that. I'm going to do as many 56 count as I can. I love all those red. The red ones are the ones that really get me. I love all those red ones. Oh, when I went to, we had a stitch day out in Sandy. Beth Twist has organized the Saturday Stitcher. And so people come from all over the area, and we meet at a church hall in Sandy, Oregon. And because Beth was so kind to have started that, I tend to bring a Beth project that I have started. And this particular one is Whip It Good, so I took that one with me. And I have this beautiful, beautiful silks. Aren't they lovely? They're just lovely. So Whip It Good. And here's where I am on that. Isn't that beautiful? I love that I got to do the little scissors. So that got a little love this week too. Yeah, he's really cleaning his sidewalk, isn't he? I had two fully finishes, and this was interesting how I ended up having two fully finishes. I decided this last week and a half or so ago, I received Yazzie bags. And I'm taking a class at the Quilters Affair in Sisters, Oregon this summer from Scott Hansen, Blue Nickel Studios. I've been wanting to take this class for quite a while. I talked about it on Quilt Roadies. It is scrappy and it is trees. But he always works, he's always teaching that on the same day that I'm working with my classroom. So I've never been able to take it. But he texted me and said he's teaching the class on Monday of that week. And so I made arrangements not to be working on Monday of that week and be able to get online and wait for the exact moment to get on the computer and sign up and get in the class. And I made it in the class. This Yazzie bag that I ordered is perfect for this class. For any quilt class that has a lot of fabric that you need. Let me just show it to you. It's like a suitcase. See, it's that thick, so I have the fabric stacked in there, and there's the pattern that I'm going to be making. And you have to bring such a variety of fabrics that usually you just have them piled all over and they make a mess. And I knew that when I saw that Yazzie was coming out with this new bag, that this would be awesome to take to class, because not only is it clear on the front, it holds, I have about 10 yards of fabric folded up in half yard and fat quarters. And when I'm going to set it on the table like this so it stands up. And then when I unzip the top, it just folds down and the fabric stays as if it's on a shelf. So this thing is going to set in front of me. So the back side will be facing out. And it will look like this. So this is a project that I did a while ago from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I thought, how fun. I wanted to put something personal in it, and so I put Stitch and Quilt Roadies, because that's the two channels that I have. And so it's going to be fun to have this bag kind of sitting on the table where I can pull out and sew strips on my sewing machine, and people walking by can see that. They can see, oh, she's not just a quilter, she's a cross-stitcher. Isn't that cool? Yazzie bags are made out of polyester, and the head honcho of Yazzie bags lives in Australia, but she ships out of the United States, so it doesn't take long to get anything that you order. And they are great for travel because they are sturdy. That polyester and the way they are constructed, they are, I mean, that's 10 pounds of fabric in there, and that handle is not given at all. So then I found I had received another bag, a clear plastic bag, project bag. And I thought, I've got to zhuzh this up because I'm used to fancy bags, you know. And so I looked through my box. Like some people have under the bed box. I have just a box in my closet of cross stitch that I have done, but I haven't done anything with. And I pulled something out that looks so perfect on this bag, and so I hand stitched it on the back. And this also was from the Fat Quarter Shop. Isn't that cute? And isn't that perfect for this bag? Adorable. So I got two fully finished. I'm counting it. I am counting it. Well, one last thing that I wanted to show you. I'm a fan of It's So Kelly because I love my Bitsy Bop. I love it. It has been all over the United States with me, all over the world. I have used it everywhere, and that's So Kelly. Not It's So Kelly. That's So Kelly. And when I saw on Instagram that she had posted that she made another product, I pressed buy, and it arrived today. So here's my project bag. Yeah, it is totally me, isn't it? Look at that. It's like embossed leather with the little charm. And the best part, because I like my Bitsy Bomb, is that inside is a Bitsy Bob. So it's going to have to hold a very special bee project. And look at this. It has a zippered clear pouch there, and then that's a magnet, and then the felt for like a thread bed. And she included in this order a thank you sampler in Always Be Kind. Isn't that cute? This was her first chart for the 2023 monthly Kelitudes series. What's a Kelitude? Just a small saying or image that means a lot to me, and I need to be reminded. This chart will only be available as a free download to my email subscribers for 30 days. Not a fan of email? You can purchase the deluxe keep set that will have a print version of the chart. Thank you so much. And I was randomly picked and won. I love the drawn thread. Do you love the drawn thread? I love the drawn thread. The Simple Samplers, Simply Summer. Say that 5 times. Simple Samplers, Simply Summer. Yeah. Isn't that just precious? And it's part of a whole series with different seasons. Love it. So maybe that's what I should put in here, is that Simply Summer sampler. Okay, so I got friends coming for a few days. I'm going to be playing hard. I'll be at Acorns and Threads tomorrow for a bit because I want to take them over there, and we'll be sewing our brains out. Do you ever get calluses from sewing or stitching? Yeah. Oh, and I have to show you one more thing. at group on Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday, out in Sandy, Oregon. Jenny gave me this for my grandson. It lights up. Did I make you dizzy? See, it's lighting up. It's so fun. We played with it and played with it. Yeah. And it was fun because also, for the first time, Allie came, which she lives in Sandy. And I had met her, her mother and daughter at Acorns and Threads, and she was working on her first cross stitch at group and finished it at group. So, yeah, she's hooked. She's hooked. And we love that because we need more people. We need more people. Yeah. Will you all take care? Stay tuned. There'll be a photograph of where I hung the trees. Take care. The sun's coming for some of us. The rest of you got a lot of stitching time coming up. We'll see you the next time around because you know I love you guys.